My name is Melinda, and I have a story to tell. My story. People think they know me, think they understand my choices, but until you've lived inside my head, felt the weight I carried, you cannot truly judge me. So listen closely. This is how everything began, and how it broke me. I was young when I met Robert, too young to know that charm can be a mask. He was standing there on campus one rainy afternoon, confident but broke, with eyes that looked past the present into a future only he could see. He told me he was working on an invention, a battery that would change the world. That battery became his obsession, and eventually mine. At first, it was exciting. He made me laugh, made me believe in something bigger than myself. I thought I had found destiny. When you're that age, you don't think about red flags. You think about love, about forever, about how someone makes your heart beat faster. And Robert? He knew how to make me believe. Not long after, my mother passed. Losing her shattered me. But she left me her house and her savings. That inheritance was supposed to be my safety, her way of saying, "Melinda, you'll be okay." But Robert sighed as fuel for his dream. And because I loved him, because I believed in him, I gave it all. The house, the money, my future. I told myself it wasn't a loss. It was an investment in us. But that was the first of many pieces of myself I handed over. The years that followed blurred together. Robert kept working on his plans, locked in his own world. And me? I worked 2 jobs, drained my body and my spirit, carrying us while he promised, one day. One day turned into years. Years turned into a decade. Bills piled high, but his promises kept me holding on. My sisters saw it differently. They looked at me and saw a fool. They said he was using me, that I was wasting my youth. They warned me, pleaded with me, even mocked me. But I wouldn't listen. Love made me deaf to reason. I told myself they were jealous. I told myself I was different. I told myself that real love required sacrifice. So I stayed. But sacrifice has a way of draining you when it's not returned. I grew bitter. Arguments became constant. Nights at work turned into nights of loneliness. And through it all, Robert stayed convinced his battery was our salvation. I wanted to believe, but the woman in me, the tired, worn, invisible woman, began to doubt. There comes a moment when patience snaps. For me, it came quietly. No explosion, no single betrayal, just the crushing realization that I had given everything, and I had nothing left. I filed for divorce. It was supposed to be freedom. Freedom from disappointment, freedom from hope that never turned into reality. I thought I was saving myself, but freedom can feel like emptiness. I walked away with bitterness in my chest and years I could never get back. Here's the irony of life. Just when you let go, the tide turns. Not long after the divorce, Robert's invention finally succeeded. The very dream I had funded, prayed for, and bled myself dry for, it came true. He became rich. Overnight, the man I had carried became a man of success, and he wasn't alone. There was Diana. She was young, polished, radiant. She stood where I once stood, next to him, believing in him. Except now he had proof. He had wealth. He had power. He had the life I was promised, and she was living it with him. Do you know what that feels like? To pour everything you have into someone only to watch another woman reap the reward? To see the house, the love, the dream you built occupied by someone else? It was like being erased from my own story. I told myself he owed me, that without me there would be no success, no fortune, no future. I was the foundation, and foundations deserve recognition. But Robert didn't look back. He thanked me, yes, but he moved forward with her, and that was the deepest wound of all. Gratitude doesn't replace the life I gave him. Gratitude doesn't heal the years of sacrifice. Gratitude doesn't erase the bitterness of watching another woman live my life. I couldn't sleep, couldn't eat. My mind replayed every sacrifice, every moment, every dollar, every tear. The bitterness grew. The anger grew. The obsession grew. I told myself I wasn't crazy. I told myself I was justified, that anyone in my shoes would feel the same. That I wasn't bitter, I was owed. But the truth? Anger like that consumes you. It makes you someone else. I stopped being the woman who loved Robert. I stopped being the woman who believed in him. I became the woman who couldn't let go. The woman who watched him with her and saw nothing but betrayal. The woman who counted every sacrifice like a debt never repaid. My name is Melinda. I was faithful. I was patient. I was devoted. But devotion turned into resentment. Resentment turned into rage. And rage turned into something darker than I ever imagined.